Yeah. Yeah. Look, back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah, yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it. What I seen, you wouldn't believe it. They say they want it, I need it. Damn, I'm going dumb like I dropped out of class. Get in my lane and I'm going right past. I turn it up, watch me go to the max. You ain't it first and you know that you last. I thought I told them I'm coming right back. I got a flows like it came from the tap, and I came from my city, that's right on my back. Oof. Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. That's how I shoot. Lately I'm driven like I'm on the road. They in my lane, dog, I told them to move. Now that I'm popping, got too much to lose. Look at the numbers, got nothing to prove. I'm in the city, just me and my crew. Told me I'm sick and I know that it's true, but I'm still gonna ball, it's like I got a flu. Yeah, run it up, I told them that I'm coming back. So let me get all of that. Time is now, I'm coming around to get a check. Said I need my taxes back. Over time I'm getting mine, so get in line. And it's with no respect. That I told them all about the ball, getting chips. Feeling like Kobe Shaq. Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. Yeah. Look.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just ran around the place, guys. Bear with me. I got to catch my breath here. But what is going on, Mafia? Welcome in, and Bitcoin. Oh, God, she got the dump to the downside. But if you guys tuned into the live stream last night, you will know that we had that key level to the downside that, if broken, would trigger all those liquidations to get a quick move through that liquidity zone. And I'm not going to lie, guys, literally tapped that level perfectly. We broke into those liquidations, and we indeed did see that quick drop to the downside. And you guys know we were looking at the volume profile as well, understanding that we had that volume gap underneath us. And this is where last night I was talking about how Bitcoin is literally standing on the edge of the cliff with its feet slipping in the gravel. And if it breaks that level, we are likely to see this next drop to the downside to a very specific level, which we also came right down to. So I'm going to break down the support that we're tapping right now. Are we going to be able to get some kind of a bounce here, or are we just going to see this aggressive dump continue? Well, I was going to say hopefully not, right, for the spot bags, but either way, guys, we're in the shorts now, and I did get stopped out of a aggressive knife catch earlier today, but I did actually, it just goes to show, right? You might as well just wait for the confirmations. I got stopped out of a knife catch. However, we did wind up coming back down, taking some more liquidity, and then putting in those actual confirmations. So I am now in a new long position, still holding both of my shorts, more profit locked in, stop losses to break even. So with this thing rips or dips, we are still going to be on the right side of the trades no matter what happens here. But guys, this is trading so technically as we've come down to sweep all that liquidity. And, this is why I like to talk about the liquidity and not only, where Bitcoin's going to go, but how you can identify where the high probability moves are going to go, right? Because this is how you're going to be able to apply the TA to your own trading and actually make money trading these key levels. So we'll take a look at what we were looking at yesterday. I'll kind of talk about how we got to where we are now and what we could potentially expect next. And yes, I'm going to go over the worst case scenario for Bitcoin here. As you guys know, the $83,000 to $82,000 golden pocket was that next key zone of support that we've been looking at. And if we're unable to hold this zone, guys, I want to talk about those lower levels, and we'll dig into a little bit more of the bearish case. I know not everybody wants to hear this, but we have to look at it, right? Nobody wants to hear about Bitcoin going to $83,000 to $82,000 either, but I am so happy that we brought up these key levels and talked about the liquidity and the probability of breaking into that zone and getting this fast drop down. So I think I even said yesterday, like, like. I hope you guys are watching this gap, because if it dumps down, whatever the news is, right, just fill in where that bearish news is going to go. So if we get bearish news, we just already saw this dump coming based off the technicals, and it gives you a little bit of peace of mind when that dump is happening. You're not thinking to yourself like, oh my God, something's broken, everything's going to zero. You just understand like, hey, we're falling through the low volume gap, we're wrecking a bunch of longs, and understanding why the dump is actually happening can just really give you a little bit of peace of mind. So you're not panic selling, you're not panic shorting, right? You know that you're longing and shorting and selling and buying at the right levels. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Welcome in. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Toaster, said we're almost back in the bottom range. Shout out to Toaster. Yeah, man. We are, did I say French toaster? This is just toaster. We have French toaster and regular toaster. But yeah, we will talk about that worst case scenario, because we are, we got a lot to break down, guys, because this all traded so technically. And again, I don't really want to talk about the bearish case, but I got to bring it up in case it happens. Shout out to Felix, said, yo, Frankie, what's good, bro? I am prepped and ready for everything. Sold my ETH before the dump, buying back lower. Let's go. We will take a look at Ethereum as well, because we've been looking for a potential drop on Ethereum as well, and we are getting pretty close to those key levels we've been watching. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Hollywood, said Frankie is freaking Nostradamus. He told us weeks ago, and bam, here we are, guys. And this is why I'm here, guys. We do this for free every single weekday. This is why I'm here. We've drawn this exact situation on the chart many a times. I was going to try and find the clip, but it seems kind of pretentious, so I'm not going to do that. If you guys want to go hunt out there, the clip, you can go find it. It lives on the YouTube channel. But we'll talk about this exact situation, because this is kind of what I've been beating the dead horse on, is the possibility of coming down to this golden pocket. And I also said I am not going to be mega bearish here, calling for a bear market, and here we are, sticking to the plan, sticking to my word. I am not bearish. Long term, I am bullish, guys, but I want to give a little context there, because I know that sounds crazy, but here we are at the golden pocket. I still don't think this means the bear market is here. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but we'll go over all scenarios so you guys are prepared no matter what happens. Let's see. Shout out to Toaster. We got Jesse in the chat. The like police, respect him in the chat. We got Nirvana. What is going on? Creighton C in the chat. Welcome in, bro. We got Colin. What is going on? Hit the best trade of my life last night. 30x long on Pi, still open. Shout out to Colin. I think we looked at Pi last night, didn't we? But yeah, shout out to Colin. Congratulations, baby. We'll throw some money for you. And it's crazy that the CandleMafia can throw money on a big dump. Let's go. Shout out to Colin. We got Boom Select in the chat. Welcome in. Mike Vito, my paisan. Welcome in. We got Thumbalero. Welcome in. Said, hi, CandleMafia. And to the big boss with the super sauce, Mr. Candles. Yo, Frankie. Yo, Frankie are the small boss. Shout out to Thumbalero. Shout out to you, man. Welcome in. Let's see. We got Sam in the chat. We got Peter J. Violet. We got everybody in the chat, guys. Show them on some love. You guys know who they are. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, Tyler Durden, Darren Does Things, Chemistry Bro, Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, Dave Digital. You know who they are. Show them some love. And I'm about to dish out some more sauce on this crazy thing they call Bitcoin. And hopefully we can look into that crystal ball and call the next move. Once again, let's get into it. So here we are, guys. Oh my God, Bitcoin's going to zero. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here on the clean chart here, guys. Now, as you know, if you've been watching the show, the way I'm going to do this today is I'm going to go over just like the very simple things, right? I'm not going to go over every single key level that made us expect this, but I'm just going to go over like the simple things that made us anticipate this drop to the downside, because there were a lot of things on the chart, right? Number one, it all started with us consolidating in this range. Now, you guys will remember I was actually pretty neutral as we were banging around on this POC as far as the trades go, but based off our high time frame money flow, shout out to Crypto Face and shout out to the money flow, guys. The money flow is an absolute money printer, but this money flow being in the red on the daily, you can see it in all of its glory right here. This was the first warning shot that we were likely to see a larger downtrend continue here for Bitcoin. We get the money flow crossover. We stick to that POC. Again, I was pretty neutral here because we could have gotten a fake out. However, if we had to go just straight off the technicals, you have to lean more towards the bearish scenario playing out, because the money flow indicates the longer term trend, and that would make us anticipate a lower highs and continuations of that bigger trend, which gave us the idea to start looking down at that lower support and assessing this lower situation. Now, not only were we able to foresee this drop to the downside coming in, but we understood that if we were going to lose these range lows, guys, there was not a lot of support until, well, right here. Right? We knew that if we were going to break down below these lows, we were very likely not only going to get a drop down, but a very fast and aggressive drop to the downside. Not only did we not have a lot of technical support here, really the only levels we had between the value area low and where we're sitting right now was simply put the daily, let me see if I can pull it up, right? We had the, I'll just pull up the whole zone here, right? We had the daily level, the oh my God, mommy, hold me level, right? And I'll show that on the new, other chart in a second. Literally had this labeled, oh my God, mommy, actually it said, oh my God, mommy bounce, question mark. if we lost that, we knew we were going to get that aggressive liquidity sweep to the downside, bringing us to these much lower levels, sitting between 83.8 all the way down to about $80,000. The actual technical levels are on the other chart. I'll show it in a second. But just keep that in mind, guys. This is how we knew this drop was going to happen. Everybody wants to know, Frankie, we know you have a crystal ball. Give it to us. Sell it on the merch store. We can't do it, guys. We sell it every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We showed all of this on the live stream, understanding, again, not just the drop to the downside, but also the idea that there was no support, as well as a lot of that liquidity, showing that it was going to be an aggressive drop to the downside. And we have seen that absolutely perfectly. And even if you zoom in a little bit more locally here, guys, we also had some of these other wicks that we knew we had a lot of liquidity. Not only did we not have a lot of key support between the value area low and really this golden pocket that we're at now, other than this daily, which has no confluence, right? Not that you can't bounce off that level, which we did. We caught a nice little scalp long here. That got stopped out in profit, and the shorts continued to print, right? But we knew if you start losing this range low, start tapping into these wicks here where we know there's a lot of liquidity, we could see those fast drops just like we just saw now, right? Like this is the exact scenario that we looked at. Lose this wick, fast drop down. Lose this wick, fast drop down, right? And then once we lost that daily, we knew that once we broke $85,200, we would see that next big drop to the downside. Absolutely perfect. We even compared it to these last drops, right? Sweep, liquidity below, fast move. Liquidity below, fast move. And we said 85.2, break that level, fast move, right? When you can see the liquidity in the market, guys, it starts to become a little bit easier to understand why these moves are happening. Everyone wants to know, why did Bitcoin dump? They always point to bearish news. And to be honest with you guys, obviously I pay attention to the news, but I don't trade based off the news. If I don't know what the news is, right, you could just fill in the blank. We talked about this as well, right? Like, we're going to get this bigger drop to the downside. Just fill in the blank. What's the bearish, the bearish news? Obviously, the stock market's getting a big correction, which we have looked at, and I will take a look at the SPY today as well. But, just fill in the blanks, right? We were bearish from all the way up here, and we even had the short open from 102K, right? We get in at the highs and then just let that gap fill. And if I just pull up, before I pull up the actual current chart, I do just want to take a look at the VPVR because this is the added sauce here, right? The added sauce that we had expecting that fast move to the downside, right? Not just saying like, hey, guys, we lost support or we're going to go down, right? We understand the intricacies of how price actually moves. So when we look at this, right, we knew that daily was the edge of the cliff, guys. The edge of the cliff. We have the high volume node up here. Price likes to stick to that. Once you start losing this, that's your last line of defense because volume aggressively falls off. And then this was the edge of the cliff. Once we lose that, you anticipate to fall through this low volume gap. And where does that, where does the volume start to pick back up? Well, to be quite honest, we have a little bit where we bounce right here. We even talked about these little spikes in volume. We have another one down here at 80K. This is where we're bouncing from right now. Also in context with, or in confluence with the golden pocket and this anchored VWAP, which has been on the chart forever. And now we're just finally seeing these levels tapped. But low volume gap, liquidity, and a lack of support in this zone makes it very likely for that fast drop down. And that's how we make money when price goes down, right? We know there's a higher probability of a continuation to the downside. I'm not going to come up here and tell you guys, we knew 100% this was going to happen, right? Because, we could have, again, here I was a little bit neutral as far as the trades, right? But with that daily money flow coming out on top of the 2-day money flow, which is still aggressively coming to the downside, we were able to potentially see that continuation of the downtrend. There's that 2-day continuing to come down. So that's what we've seen happen. There it is. We've drawn it a million times. Lose this level, quick drop down to the golden pocket, fast move up, oftentimes leads to fast move down. Here we are. Completely revealed. There it is. Finally got it to happen. I've been talking about this forever, so it's, I start to feel a little bit crazy, guys, when we talk about this stuff, and it takes so long. I'm like, oh my God, is this ever going to happen? And then finally, you have patience, and you finally see the levels tapped. Now, let's come on in here and analyze some more of these key levels. So, obviously we are at key support, right? We've come down to the anchored VWAP, the golden pocket. Like I said, I did get stopped out for a small loss on an aggressive long entry here, but I did take a new one down here on some more local confirmations, which at the end of the day, you gotta just wait for the confirmations, right? It's not that the knife catch couldn't have worked, right? I took it for a reason, but I even was letting the CandleMafia know in the premium Discord, like, guys, this is a knife catch, very dangerous. But the shorts are just printing so much. I'm up massively across all of my accounts between the business accounts and the personal accounts. I'm up pretty big, right? So I was willing to take a loss, and it was a very small loss before finally having the short pay out more, taking more profit off the short, and then catching the next long to the upside, which I am sitting in right now. If you guys saw the market update, you saw that that long position. BTC to 50K. BTC to 50K. Shout out to I can't see that, the Puraria fund. I don't know what that says, but shout out to you, bro. 50K. I'm going to talk about that worst case scenario, but I kind of want to show you guys what I'm looking at in here, right? So let me go ahead and hide this. And we'll take a bit of a look here. So obviously, swept the liquidity, fast move down, and this was that level at 85.220, right? Once you lose that, you expect that big sweep of liquidity into the golden pocket and anchored VWAP. Now, right now, guys, the level that you really want to hold is going to be this anchored VWAP. We swept the lows, and we are now we're basically SFPing this anchored VWAP. If we could stay above here, maybe we could get a little bit of a relief rally. We'll take a look at Market Cypher B in a second to see if that's possible. We've already come up and retested that level as resistance. So, we're definitely in a strong downtrend. You want to be careful, right? With the longs, like I said, the knife catch, very tight stop loss, small loss, shorts continue to pay. You want to hold above this anchored VWAP. This is coming in right now at about $83,683. Golden pocket still remains the same here at about 81.8 all the way down to about 81,829. And, maybe we come down and tap the bottom area of this golden pocket, right? We front run it slightly. But, yeah, this is key support, right? We also have a daily naked point of control in Confluence that we also front ran here at the bottom of the golden pocket. So there is a little bit of confluence here at about 81.8. But let's just assume, right? Let's say we come up maybe a little bit. We bing bong around, and we get that bigger drop down. We don't really get the strong bounce. We lose this level, guys. The next level is down here at that daily naked point of control at 80K. These are the local levels, right? Down here at $80,000. And then that is, obviously 80,000 is going to be somewhat of an even psychological level. You have a lot of people with limit orders down there potentially. And just the psychological level of $80,000 does a lot of times give you a reaction. So, honestly, not even just like the clean, 80,000, 90,000, even 80,500 could be considered a psychological level, or any $500 increment of those, thousands can be considered psychological, right? But these are the next levels, right? Number one, 81,008, somewhat of confluence down there, and then that daily naked point of control, just like that daily here, the oh my god mommy bounce level was at 87.3 was the key level to the downside if lost, calling for more downside. That is this daily naked point of control. You lose $80,000, guys. This is where the much more bearish scenario can play out, and this is definitely in the cards. I hate to say this. I don't want to, and excuse me, give me one sec, guys. I'm not guaranteeing that we get the bigger drop down, but with the 2-day money flow and the daily money flow coming out, it is definitely in the cards. I can't, there's no way to guarantee that we're definitely going to come down there. But if we do lose $80,000, that's where we're going to look to come down here to that daily naked point of control /786 Fibonacci retracement at at about $76,000, right? 76,477 down to the 786 at about 75,988. If we lose that, we do have this other level down here. I think, what is this? Is this a daily, weekly? Is this a naked? I think it's a weekly naked point of control. Yeah, we have a weekly naked point of control in there as well. So this is that next zone, right? And yes, we can go lower than that, right? Now, again, I would love to hold this $80,000 zone, right? This 82 to 85, really $85 to $80,000 zone. I would love, we don't know, right? We could potentially play around in here a little bit before finally pumping or dumping. But, I've talked many times about seeing this retracement. Now, why am I not worried? I want to be very clear, guys. I am still bullish on a high time frame perspective. 100%, I am still bullish. Now, this doesn't mean that the top isn't in at 110K, right? This is just how I am playing things. This is not enough for me to call a bear market from a technical perspective, right? This is simply just a golden pocket retracement, and this could be an area, right? Even the 786, these could be areas to look for really big bounces. Now, I will say, I'm not necessarily anticipating this long to pay me out to new all-time highs, right? We have to assess the situation as price action develops, and at this point, we still have the 2-day money flow coming out. We still have the daily money flow coming out. So, I'm not just saying we're going to bounce here and go to all-time highs, but the reason why I would not just be calling bear market here is you have to take it in context, right? My average entry price on Bitcoin is about $20,000 to $21,000, right? So for me, this is not a big deal, right? We are in a massive uptrend here, higher highs and higher lows. And, if we hold this fib zone, this is definitely an area where you could put in a higher low. Not to mention that we also have a CME gap down here closer to the 786. It's really not, right? Like if you are entering in up here on this upper range, this is obviously going to be much more painful. Anytime you buy up at higher prices, you're going to feel that pain. So I am personally not feeling that pain, but I understand that not everybody is in the same situation, right? So, I said this the other day. If you are up here buying, you're going to be feeling that pain, right? Just because I bought lower and I'm not feeling the pain does not mean you're not going to, right? But from a technical perspective, like we're here at a golden pocket retracement, right? Like there's no massive, massive market structure being broken. Like we still have an opportunity to get a bounce out of here, even if it gets a little bit more bloody. I said if we come down here, I'm not calling for a bear market, and here I am sticking to my word, right? And again, I don't know, right? Like there's no way I can guarantee that, but we typically do get these calls pretty right. Not financial advice. You shouldn't just follow someone on YouTube. You have to follow your own TA and you have to make your own financial decisions, right? But we're here, and it's a golden pocket, massive anchored VWAP. Now, if we start breaking down here, guys, right? If we continue to break down, and we get below, let me see, I don't have that anchored VWAP popular. Okay, so here we are, right? So if we do wind up getting the bigger drop down, right, any bounce that we get, this anchored VWAP is obviously going to move over time. That anchored VWAP is going to be absolutely critical resistance, right? Not only critical resistance, but a key level that we would have to get back above and flip to support for a bigger move up. This anchored VWAP is pulled from, I'll just give it to you right here, right? It's a free tool on TradingView. Come on over here, anchored VWAP right here, right? It's from the low here on August 5th. I have it pulled from there. This is a massive, massive, massive level. And another reason why we were saying it would be really nice to come down and tap that level. Because again, with the lack of support in here, price does like to gravitate towards those key levels, especially if it's a golden pocket. So very simply, if we do not hold this zone, which again, I am long from here, right? So if we go, we go. But again, in the context of things, I want to be very clear. With the higher time frame money flow coming up, I am treating any bounces to the upside as lackluster retracements for potential lower highs and continuations down. Simple as that, right? Until we see that money flow flip back to the upside, I have to anticipate the continuation of the downtrend. Now, the key levels of resistance, depending, right, if we hold the anchored VWAP, your next key level of resistance, in my opinion, is going to be this tap daily. If you can't get back above that daily, it's not going to be good, right? Now, if we get above the daily and we get a little bit more of a bigger retracement, right, everyone's going to be like, that was the low, all-time highs, which obviously is a possibility, right? Nobody knows 100%. If someone tells you they know 100%, like, if you flip this level, you're guaranteed to go up to all-time highs, they're lying to you. Nobody knows, right? It's a secret, trick of the trade, right? Nobody actually knows. But when you can combine all this confluence and all the TA together, and you have multiple things pointing in one direction, you can put the probabilities in your favor. So if we do get the retracement, I will just say this, right? Very key resistance. Pulled from the swing high to the swing low. We have confluence here on the golden pocket, value area low. Right, so this is in the case of a bigger bounce coming in, and I'll talk about the possibility of that happening and what I'm looking for a potential continuation. But if we do come up, you got to be real careful around that daily. Once you get above that daily, you could potentially look for the bigger move up into, this is more macro resistance. This is coming in between 92, we'll call it 92 and 93.6. Right? This would be a really, really big zone, not only the golden pocket, but also the 786 POC. Like, these are macro levels. I can't guarantee that we're definitely going to come back up there, but it's an if this, then that. If we just get a crazy bounce over the overnight or something like that, these are really, really big levels to be looking at for lower highs, especially, and like you might think to yourself, like, how could you be bearish if you get such a strong bounce off the golden pocket? Well, number one, I'm in a cushy position, right? I'm long from the low, and I'm also short from the highs here. So if we do get that bigger bounce, remember the 2-day money flow is coming out. Remember the daily money flow is coming out, right? This would make us anticipate, doesn't mean you can't get retracements, but this would be the biggest macro zone of resistance, right? To put in the lower highs and continue down. Now, again, if we get the bounce, daily, value area low, golden pocket, and I'll give you the actual numerical values in a second, 786 POC. Daily sitting at 87,347, same level we've been looking at. Value area low with the golden pocket sitting between, I'll just call it 92 to 93.6. If you get above that, you got to be careful around the POC 786 between 95.5 and 96.733. These are pretty far away at this point. I understand that, but you got to be ready for them, right? This was far away until we swept all that liquidity. So if we get some kind of crazy short squeeze and we see the opposite happen, we do have to be aware of these, right? Especially if this move up, if we get it and it's fueled by liquidations, you have to think to yourself, well, hey, this move up wasn't really created by strong buying rather than just shorts getting squeezed out, right? Which would make a very high probability for a lower high and a continuation down. Also, in confluence with the money flow crossing into the red, right, on the 2-day, if we get that, right? We also had the weekly bearish divergences, right, to your wicks, higher highs, lower highs, monthly, not only bearish divergence, come on, You have the bearish divergence, and you have the red dot printing. Not necessarily calling the bear market. We have seen those signs pop up at the top of bull runs, but as of right now, there's not a ton of the other signs that call for the top in the previous cycles that are showing up right now. But we do have some of the technical signals. So, that made us anticipate, again, not necessarily the start of the bear market. Could be, right? But, that's not really how I take it, right? I see those signs, and I say, well, hey, we could see some more of that pain here. Doesn't mean the bear market's here, but we could see a little bit more pain. And that's where we look for that thought process of, hey, lose the range low, could push into the golden pocket. Lose that golden pocket, we're looking down towards the 786 in the mid to low 70s. That next zone is in the mid to low 70s, between 76 and 74K. I would say mid 70s. Now, if we lose those levels, guys, I don't expect. I'll be honest, like anything can happen, but I don't expect to just like go all the way down to 70K in one line, right? I do think there's going to be maybe some consolidation here. Maybe you get the retracement and then the dump down. Not impossible to get the dump down, but I'm not necessarily expecting that, right? We've swept a lot of the liquidity. If anything, maybe we stall out or get a little retracement to the upside. And I'll go over the lower time frame money flow in a second, and market cipher being kind of what I'm expecting as far as what that retracement might look like on lower time frames. Let me check in on chat real quick. It's already game over. Shout out to Fund. Sell it all, baby. Sell it all. And it could be, right? I'm not, again, guys, I never come up here and tell you that it's 100%, this is just from a technical perspective. We still have not broken any significant high time frame structure. But again, I talked about this yesterday. I don't really want to spend too much time on this. But when we look at 2021, right, you have to understand, a lot of people thought it was game over here. And in my opinion, it pretty much was, right? Like, this was the peak of the market, peak of sentiment. And then we got the big dump to the downside. Everybody said bear market, bear market, bear market. And what happens? Price comes back up. Now, although I pretty much agree with this actually being the top of the bull run, this was just a liquidity sweep before sending it back down into the bear market. You have to understand, it's very hard, right? Like, these people were geniuses, right? The people, and there were reasons to look for a dump here, right? Massive, like a 3-drive bearish divergence here on the daily. Money flow came out on the daily. We would definitely be expecting downside here, but it's hard to call this as a bear market, right? You have high time frame bearish signals, but it's really hard to call the bear market here. And then what happens? Price comes back up, right? And then those people are like, well, no, I didn't really say it was the top of the bull market. I was just kind of saying, and then you come up, put in a new all-time high, and then everyone's calling for 100K, and then all we see is a liquidity sweep and a massive, massive weekly bearish divergence. So my point here is it's really hard to call the top like on a situation like that. You have to wait for some price action to actually develop, right? Where I was calling the bear market was right here. Right, because we actually came down, we started forming bearish patterns, right? Not just that, but we also had a weekly blood diamond, and we also had these macro bearish signals confirmed with the weekly money flow about to cross into the red. This was a huge signal for that dump into the bear market, and that's why I was calling it here. It was much easier to call here and much more probable to call here rather than just like, you could call tops and say it's the bear market every time. You're eventually going to be right. But I try to be as tactical as possible. Again, from a market structure perspective, we're just back down here at key support. And shout out to anybody who's been watching the live streams because I did start to feel a little bit crazy. See, guys, I'm not crazy. We got to look at these levels. They're high probability, and here we are. Let's see. Shout out to Simano, said, Frankie, you're right. You're right, though. This time is different. Listen, in my opinion, every cycle is different, right? But this one obviously is different for many different reasons, right? Every cycle kind of has its own quirks, right? And just understand, right? Like, it could still continue down here. And at the end of the day, like for me, guys, if you're buying up here, this is much more painful than for somebody that was buying in the bear market, right? And I understand a lot of people are in a situation where they were buying on the way up, which if you did do that, right? And let's say, whether this is the top of the bull market or not, just take this as a lesson, right? Like even if you have to endure a bigger pullback to the 786 and then we go, just take that as a lesson, right? Next time prices are just going up in a straight line, it is not the time to buy, right? Like it is just simply not the time to buy. Anytime I see something screaming to the upside, I feel the FOMO, guys. I see if there's an altcoin screaming up to the upside, I'm like, oh man, I should have bought that, right? But I'm not chasing those giant green candles. I tried to talk so much sense into people, in my personal life who were trying to buy XRP on this pump to the upside. And I'm like, listen, man, you could buy it here and it could continue to go up, but there's a way higher probability that you're just buying a top, right? And now all those people are in massive pain. So just take that as a lesson, right? And then just try to adjust your mistakes, right? You're going to make mistakes as an investor, especially if you're here to learn how to day trade or scalp or just, leverage trade like we do typically here in the Candle Mafia, this is very, 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 very important. So that's what we're looking at. Like, we just seeing what we were looking for playing out, right? Like, we're kind of just one of those situations. So, again, the question is, as we come down here, right, we look at this level and we say, hey, when we get down there, we'll reassess the situation and see if things are looking bullish or bearish. I will say, it's still looking, right? Like, I do still think we could see more downside. However, locally, we have very, very local confirmations, and I want to talk about those right now, right? So, obviously, I am holding the new long position as well as the shorts, but we've come into the level, right? We did put in some low time frame bullish divergences, right? We have the 12, the 15, the 5-minute, right? We had very low time frame bull divs here, even right here, right? Lower lows on our price, higher lows on our momentum waves. This is around where I got my entry here. It was like almost at the top of this golden pocket. That is now in profit. But you see those divs, right? And this was some of the stuff that we were looking at. On top of, we now have some medium time frames printing bull divs as well. The 1 hour bull div is now confirmed, right? We have lower lows into the key level, into that key level with higher lows on our momentum waves. And we also have the 2 hour. Let me readjust this, right? Then we have the 2 hour also looking to potentially print a bull div here. VWAP is coming up, so if we could get that green dot on the 2 hour, that may be able to give us a continuation to the upside. 3 hour bull div looking to print, and that 4 hour not looking as pretty of a bull div as the other time frames, but this is another thing that I am going to be watching, right? But it's going to take a little bit of time to see these confirm. So we're looking at these as hopefully, right? I got the low time frame entry, and then hopefully if these can print, it could just give us the continuation up. I'm not entering on these confirmations. These are additional confirmations to give us an idea of like whether that long is going to play out well or not. But I would be very careful in this aggressive downtrend, guys. We are definitely taking, I would still consider this, again, I took a knife catch here. Where was it? I took a knife catch here, stopped out. Right. And we knew we had liquidity down below. I even talked to the premium Discord. I'm like, guys, we have a lot of longs opening here, putting more liquidity down below. I put in a sweating emoji. I'm like, probably going to get stopped out of this. And then literally, I'm not going to lie, I put that post in at 3:11. And if you come here, where are we? Where is it? Yeah, 3:11. I posted that post at 3:11, and then literally, like, it's so hard to get this stuff in time. 3:11 right here. I posted that post in the Discord, and then 2 seconds later, we come take the lows and sweep that liquidity. I got stopped out, and then we finally started printing the actual confirmations where I took that next long position. So, wait for the confirmations. It's always going to be higher probability, but that's what we're looking at, right? I am holding. We'll see if this long continues to play out. We already rejected that range low, right, which is honestly not the best sign, but we'll see, right? We'll see if this money flow can work its way to the upside. That 30-minute money flow is coming up. Let's see, 5-minute, come on. 5-minute money flow starting to come up as well. And if we can, we did just confirm the 80-minute bull div. So again, although, I did catch the entry on the low time frame, I would consider this more of a knife catch, right? Because I was just like looking along this on the way down. Then I finally got the confirmations, but I would still classify this as a risky knife catch, guys. I'm fully prepared to get stopped out of this trade. And if we do, the shorts are just absolutely going to continue to print, right? I was kind of playing with fire today. I was taking some knife catches just because, I'm up so much on the shorts here. I can afford to take a couple losses, and again, they are small losses. I took like a 1-point-something% loss, and all the shorts and the new long are up massively. I wouldn't say massively, but they're up big, right? So there we go. What oscillator are you using? Shout out to Timothy. This is Market Cipher B. If you guys want to check it out, you can check out marketciphertrading.com and use MCFrank20. You could save 20% if you want. Let's see. Are we cooked or are we cooking? Shout out to Simano. Catching knives for dear life. Shout out to Nirvana. But yeah, I'll just say, overall, guys, again, long term, I'm not like, oh my God, bear market. It could be, right? And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. They're like, well, we just want to know if it's the bear market or not, Frankie. Tell us. Nobody can, right? You can talk to the best trader, anybody. No one can tell you if the top is completely in. All it takes is a rate cut, right? Maybe, right? Markets need to see pain in order for the rate cuts to come back in. So maybe we do need to see a little bit more pain. And maybe I've been talking about this, right? If we're going to see a black swan this cycle, maybe the black swan this cycle, if we get it, is going to be a financial black swan, right? And then it causes a lot of pain in the markets, and then they start to QE, right? And then that's where things can finally turn around and start to run. And we've been talking about this for quite some time. No QE, no pumps, right? That's just how it works. Now, if we take a look at the SPY, this is something we actually don't oftentimes look at the stock market, guys, but we were looking at this recently. As we were deviating above this volume profile, we got sucked back into the range, POC, lose the POC, right down to the value area low, right? So the fact that the SPY has been pulling back as well, Bitcoin is likely to follow that, right? So at the end of the day, right, I'm not calling bear market. I'm also not saying it's 100% not the bear market. You cannot make 100% calls. If you're out there making 100% calls, you're 100, and you're not considering the other side, you are 100% gambling. If you want to make money trading, you have to entertain both sides. It's a huge, huge misconception, not only in trading, but in crypto in general. Everybody just wants, like, there's no way to just know, buy here, it's definitely going to go up. The only way you can make that the highest probability is if you're buying fear, right? You're just going to have a much better and easier chance of getting in low when you're buying when everybody is horrified. When the exchanges are going down, when the bad news after FUD, and you're buying that fear, that's your best chance to get the good entries, right? Other than that, it's very hard to just say, this is the level that we are guaranteed to bounce off of. It's just not how the markets work. So you just kind of have to take all these things into consideration. So we'll see. If we lose this anchored VWAP, I'm looking down here to 81.8. If we lose that, I'm looking down to 80K, and we lose that, we're likely to get that bigger drop down to the 76.5 to 73.5 zone. Now, at that point, guys, this is where, and I'll be honest, right? Like a lot of people, even now, like a lot of people are saying, a lot of people are feeling like this is the bear market, right? And who knows? It could be, right? But if we come down here, this is really where I start to get a little bit more worried, right? We have a CME gap down here. I really don't want to lose this 786. Like, again, if you can't hold the golden pocket, you might go for the full 786 retracement. And then hopefully at that point, again, quick move up, quick move down, right? We've been looking for this forever. We know if we lose this level, it's going to be a quick drop down. And if we don't hold this, it is very likely going to be a continuation of that massive fast drop down to this level. If we don't hold this CME gap, guys, this is where I get a little bit more worried, right? And again, I don't think this is going to happen in a straight line. Obviously, it can. I just don't. I don't really expect that to be, just an insta dump down there. Could be aggressive, right? Maybe we just kind of bing bong around and then just keep getting an impulse down. But once we get down here, this is really where we want to see things start to get going. Because if it doesn't, we're getting really, we have the structural highs here getting closer to 72K, right? This is just a very basic, just from a basic TA standpoint, right? If we were just to mark out these highs, these structural highs, right? This comes in at about, between, I would say, $72,000 and $71,000. This is really like, this is where I start to get worried, right? If you're not bouncing off the 786, if we come down here, I'd like it to be a very fast wick and a quick recovery. Because if we start coming down here, we talked about this a long time ago. Actually, I haven't touched on it in a while, this low. But if we do get back down here, guys, it's really dangerous, right? Let's say we get the lower high, we come back down, right? We don't hold the 786. Once you start losing like 70K, you're really like dancing with danger here, like for the real bear market, right? Or, what would that drop be? This would be a 38% dump. I mean, with some real bearish news, maybe a black swan, that's not impossible to not be the bear market. But I'm definitely getting worried there, right? And then, because you have the opportunity at that point, once you break into this range, you have the opportunity to come, into that value area low or below that value area high. And we know, guys, just like we trade these volume profiles, we know if you get stuck under that value area high, you're going to go to the POC very likely. And if you lose that POC, the next likely place for price to go is going to be, 60K, right? We don't want to see that, right? We're not looking to just, at that point, it's starting to get a little bit sus. And, anyone who's been buying on the way up, that's, mega pain. That might as well just be a full bear market for people who are buying up higher. So, just be aware of that. Just because I'm not worried here does not mean that you should not be worried there. If you're down, 80% on your Bitcoin, not that you really want to sell the low, not financial advice, but, that's obviously a different situation. But, again, from a higher time frame structural perspective, the pain could continue. And when we said that and we got it, and I'm just saying right now, if we lose that golden pocket 80,000, we could continue to see that, right? We don't have if you want a massive move up from here, we really want to see the daily money flow crossing into the green. We want to see that 2-day money flow literally doing the opposite of what's doing right now. We want to see a big red wave ready to cross into the green. So, it's bearish, right? Like the charts look bearish. And again, it's not necessarily enough to just say the top is 100% in, even if we get a bigger move down. But these charts are bearish, right? We have to look at the information that we're seeing. This is why I've been bearish, looking for that continuation continuation down. And I wish I could say like, oh my God, we got the most beautiful confirmation at this golden pocket. We're about to send it to all-time highs. You know, it's just not there. It could happen, but like there's not a lot of confluence, maybe a lot of confidence, I should say. You know, if that, you know, I mean, if this 4-hour bull div looked like this 1-hour bull div with money flow coming up, that would be a little bit better. But I'd be really careful here, guys. You know, I'd be really careful. Like I said, you know, I'm long, but if I got stopped out, we're still short from way higher. So I'm totally protected on that. I really took that long as a hedge against all my shorts. I'm very heavily short right now and have been ever since $102,000, right? Been heavily short ever since up here. So I am just looking to take a hedge as we're at key support and we got confirmations, right? I just follow the rules. If we hit the key level and I see the confirmations, I fire on the trade. Doesn't guarantee I'm going to win it, but if I get stopped out, it'll be a small loss and the shorts continue to pay us. All right, let's see. 72K bounce to 140K. Yeah, I think that's totally in the cards. You know, if we did get down there, I'll tell you this. This would be max pain. You have to remember, the markets like to cause max pain, guys. Shout out to the video game. It's, you know, if we get that drop down, you know, regardless of what happens up here, right, we come down here, like, that's really, you know, if we don't send it from there, just understand that big drop down is on the way. So, yeah, like this could be, right? Like if I were to draw this out, hey, guys, we're looking for higher lows and continuations up. I would say this is the first level. Low confidence on this now that we're assessing the situation, right? If we came down here with beautiful, beautiful confirmation on higher time frames, I'd say it's very likely. That is not the case right now, but I am long in case it is, right? If we continue down, I mean, you could even really mark this out as a full zone, right? Between $75,000 and $70,000 at that value area high is really the key zone of support if you're looking at the macro time frames. Now, if you don't start bouncing here, right? And again, it really depends on what this looks like, right? If we come down to the 786 and we wick down, right, and then snap back up, boom. Send it to 120, send it to 137, send it to 140. I do think like this is in the cards, guys. This is 100% in the cards, and this is how I'm going to be playing it. And I stick to my word, guys, right? Like I come down here, we look for the longs. I say I'm going to look for the longs in the premium. I'm wrong from the here, right? So there's definitely a possibility to see that happen. But here's the thing, right? We'll cross that bridge when we get there because I don't want, you know, if you start really thinking that like this is the level you have to come down to, there's no guarantee you come down here. There's no guarantee you come down here. There was no guarantee that we came down here. We just knew it was the higher probability. So, you know, you don't want to be looking at this as a level that has to be hit because then you're going to be like, if you're getting nice confirmations here, right, you might not be, you're going to be a little trigger shy to take that shot because you're just anticipating lower. And, you know, the super greedy bears and the super greedy bulls will always get wrecked, right? Pigs make money, hogs get slaughtered, I think is what they say. So there you go. But that is definitely, I would say that's definitely a valid situation. Yeah, that's in the cards. All right, let's jump into chat really quickly here. Let's see. Aziz says, do you think it's almost guaranteed we may not bounce from the 80s based on the macro medium time frames? I mean, it's saying like, I would never use the word like guaranteed or even almost guaranteed. High probability is probably the biggest stretch I would do. But I wouldn't say, yeah, I would lean more towards, I have to be careful, right? Because I would probably lean more towards a, continuation down, but that doesn't mean in a straight line, right? So that's why I try to cover the high time frames and the medium and the low time frames because, you know, again, even if I'm expecting lower, which I am based off the money flow here, we could have ebbs and flows to the upside, right? So, you know, if I say it's much more likely to lose this level and come down lower, a lot of people who are new and learning will think that that just means instantly. That's not necessarily the case. If the 1, 2, 3, 4 hour bull divs wind up playing out and giving us a little bit of a bounce first, whether that's into the daily, whether that's into the golden pocket or the 786 for the lower high to come in. These are the next areas I'll be looking at. You know, this is going to be a move to the upside, right? And this move up could take, you know, a day, 2 days, or whatever it is, right? So, you know, I'm definitely, you know, open to low time frame push to the upside. But I do think, you know, overall, I am leaning more bearish in the medium term, right? Expecting potential bounces to the upside. I'm not saying like, you know, I'm leaning more bearish now, guys, like we're going straight down. You know, if that happens, I'm happy for that, right? Because I'm, again, more heavily short than I am long. But yeah, you know, we're just going to sit in this long and see if we can get that little retracement to cash out a little bit. But yeah, overall, I'd say I'm leaning a little bit more bearish towards more downside. And just keep in mind, right, if we do get that bounce, if we come up here and it looks bearish, I will be looking for those shorts just like I said I would be looking for the longs here, and I'm in that long, I will be looking for the shorts here. Regardless of if Twitter is bullish and says, that's it, we're going to $1 million. If it is looking bullish and the chart looks good and we stay above that value area low and we break that POC, money flows coming up, I will hold the long position, right? But right now, we have to assess the situation when we get up there. But as of right now, if that money flow looks the same, I'm looking for lower highs up here for a continuation down. Again, if we don't come down from here. So we'll see what happens. That's how I'm playing it, right? We can look at the bullish case, we can look at the bearish case, and then I can show you guys exactly how I'm handling it. So yeah, I am more heavily short right now, and I am expecting more downside based off money flow. And it's not just that's what I'm expecting because that's what I feel, right? That's just what Market Cypher is saying. And again, Market Cypher said that all the way up here, right? We saw that money flow coming out, shorted 102K, right? And money flow was calling for that continuation down. And it is right more than it's wrong. Doesn't mean it can't be wrong sometimes, but that's why I'm sticking to it, right? It's not me saying it. I'm just a messenger, right? I'm just bringing what's on the charts to you guys, which I think is probably why a lot of you guys think I have a crystal ball, right? Because I don't let my emotions come in here, right? I'm not just FOMO shorting here because we got a big dump. Let's see. Shout out to Marek said, would you imagine paying $100K for a line of code in computer program? I don't know. It depends on what that code does. I don't know exactly what that means, but shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Tia, please. Shout out to Capital says, yes, Capital made a nice trade on Tia yesterday. We actually took a look at Tia on the, or made a good trade on Tia, I guess, today. But we looked at Tia yesterday, and we will, we'll take a look at the alts here. I'll take a look at Ethereum in a second. Thanks for being honest, Frankie. Shout out to APX. I mean, being honest is beneficial to me, right? Because, it's, it makes me money, right? Or I'm not even honest, right? Just agnostic, right? Like, I don't care if I feel bullish or bearish at this level. I'm just going to react off what the charts say, right? And if the charts are wrong, then cool, right? So there you go. Just want to say I love you, brother. Shout out to Sheesh. Thank you, brother. I love you back. Man. Let's see. New here. What's up? Shout out to Zito. Zito. That's like my friend Vito, Mike Vito. Shout out to Zito. Welcome in, bro. Subscribe to the channel and smash that like button if you're finding any value here. I wish you were in last night's live stream because it would have been a great commercial to subscribe to the channel. But yeah, let's see. What about all the whales that bought above 95K, MicroStrategy, Saudi, other countries? We see institutions are already capitulating. Shout out to Luke. I would take this into consideration, right? But for me personally, right, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't look at this because it doesn't work or anything like that. For me personally, I have always traded almost 100% based off technicals, and that has worked out very, very well for me. Again, if this is the top, we are short from 102K, right? Like, again, and if it's the short forever, we're going to have retracements, some kind of retracements, and we could catch new shorts, right? So I don't base my trades based off of that. So you can take that stuff into consideration. It's not something I pay much attention to, just like the news, right? Like, there's been so many situations where I've been looking at a key level, like on the live stream, during the lives on this YouTube channel, recorded receipts are on the YouTube channel, where we look for a key level. We look for the dump down to that key level, and then we look for the bounce from that key level, right? Just based off technicals. And everyone's like, we go into the live stream, and everyone's like, did you see the news? Did you see the news? And we just match it up with the charts. And the charts usually front run that news or whatever the bearish situation is. The charts usually front run that, right? The weekly bearish divergence, the monthly bearish divergence, right? Like, the bearish signals were up here, right? So I just based off how I trade, right? I can't get bearish for fresh short entries here. The bearish signals were here. When everyone else doesn't want to short, this is where we're looking for shorts. Now, I didn't short the exact top here. I think we definitely caught some scalp shorts up here. But once we got back in here, bearishly retested the value area high, this is where we were looking like, hey, bearish confirmations or bearish high time frame signals. We come in, we're back inside the value area high. We know once we get back inside that value area high, there's a high probability that we're going to get accepted into the range, back to the POC, and then get to move back down to that value area low, where we said if we lose the value area low, a lot of liquidity down below, fast drop down, right? So that's kind of that whole thought process. So again, it's not that, I wouldn't, take that into consideration at all. But, I just, the signs are on the chart, right? Like, I don't know, if that's new news, right? Again, I don't really pay much attention to it. But if that news is like just coming out, like, wouldn't you want to get the signals up here like we did? Right? So that's why I stick to the charts. But again, it doesn't mean nothing. I want to be very clear about that. I'm not saying that the news doesn't move the charts, but it is just crazy, right? And again, this is a perfect day to show this because we did that today, right? Like, we just knew this was going to be a fast drop down based off liquidity and low volume. That's simply what we look for. I don't care. Like, is there news today, right? I don't know. If it is, we saw it all up here. So, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Let's see. Folks wanted to ignore that double top for months. Yeah, I don't even look at it as a double top. I look at it as a weekly and monthly bearish divergence. Not this. We had a weekly bear div here, and then we have the monthly bear div here. So that's kind of what I looked at. But yeah, you can look at it as a double top. So yeah, it's and then here's the thing too, right? It's not that we look at that again. If you want to be a trader, you're not looking at this because I don't want to give like false expectations of what TA is going to be able to do for you. Obviously, we're able to read these very accurately, right? But the it's very hard to just say like double top definitely going down, right? Will that play out sometimes? Yes. But, there's also a ton of things. This is why I don't really just look at patterns alone. I look at patterns, just not alone. But, if you look at this, right, and you just say like, it's very hard to say just double top, that's it, right? If you're not understanding like what's going on here. Really, the alarming thing up here was the sweep of liquidity of the high, right? And this is really what we were looking at for the macro for a macro top, right? Come up here, sweep that liquidity, wash out the shorts, and then send it down. But with patterns, it's like there's like a lot of cherry picking on patterns, right? Like, is this a double top? Absolutely, right? You could call that a double top. I'm not saying it's not, but there's so many situations, right, where you have, oh my God, double top. And then you just like sit up here and you send it, right? Like there's always going to be a situation where those patterns don't play out, and any kind of TA doesn't play out, which is why I like to look at the more kind of advanced techniques as far as liquidity, order flow, that kind of stuff, and try to figure out what's actually going on behind the candlesticks. But yeah, that means definitely a double top at this point, right? But it's easier to call that after it's played out, rather than saying like you don't know if this is a double top as it's happening, where the bearish divergence and the liquidity sweep can give you a little bit more insight into that actually being a top. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. Said, okay, great TA as always. Smash that like, people. Can we talk about your hair and the fact that you drink water now, Mr. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo? Yes, shout out to Blockchain Domain said something yesterday and said Frankie's hairline is dipping faster than Bitcoin, and I thought he meant like my hairline was receding, so I was like, dang, bro, you toasted me, but maybe he meant coming down. Yeah, I decided to grow my hair out. I'm gonna do something different with my hair. I'm just sick of my hair, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it grow out. I'm probably gonna get a haircut in the next couple days, but I don't know. Drop some new hairstyles in the chat. Let me know what I should do, guys. But yeah, I'm just like, you gotta go through that phase of just letting it grow out. If I took my hat off right now, guys, everybody would leave. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's long, guys. It's getting long. But yeah, let's see. Bada boom. And I'll be honest with you guys. It's finding a good barber in the ATL is low key impossible. So I was just like, I got to do something different. I got to do something less difficult to do. Even though my haircut's the simplest thing ever. Ponytail. Shout out to Nirvana. Mullet. Should we mullet? Let's see. Let's see. Poker is shout out to Hack. Poker is futures trading. Meme coins are slot machines. Bro, low key, that is a really, really, really good analogy. People say trading is gambling, especially leverage trading. They'll say it's gambling. Leverage trading is not gambling. Someone who says leverage trading is gambling just is exposing their own ignorance to how they're exposing how uninformed they are on how to actually trade. Leverage trading is not gambling. If you actually know how to trade and manage risk, it is 100% not gambling. Can you lose money? Absolutely. But it's more like poker, right? I would 100% agree with that, bro. It's a great analogy. Because in poker is one of the only games you can play in a casino that you can actually be profitable at, right? Because you could build the skill of bluffing or what have you. But the biggest thing you can do is you can fold. You can manage your risk, right? You can't do that on a slot machine. If you put $100 in the slot machine and you put it on a $100 spin, you can't, if two of the things the first two spins don't match up, you can't like pause and take out half your money. You have to take that full loss. That's a great way to look at it. But yeah, it's 100% not gambling. If you manage the risk, right? Like I took for example, I think it was like a $150 or maybe a $200 loss today. And then I didn't take profit on the long yet, but just to kind of give the example, right? For the shorts, I'm up over 5 figures on all the shorts across all my accounts right now. So when you're taking small losses and big wins and you can actually control that and stick to your risk management plan, that's what makes it not gambling, right? It's gambling if you put it all on 100x or any X, right? It doesn't matter. If you're just buying something with no stop loss and you have a liquidation level, that's gambling from a binary standpoint, absolutely, because it's all or nothing. But yeah, don't cut your hair yet, Frankie. You will shave it off when ETH doesn't make a new all-time high this cycle. Shout out to Crypto Pesa. Well, I don't know. I think by the time we can confirm that it is a full 4-year cycle bear market, not just a like if we hit the 786, that's not shave my head territory. Like if we go into like a long 4-year cycle bear market with ETH not making an all-time high, it'll probably be long enough for me to shave my head again. So yeah, but I still will do that. Let's see. I'm afraid if I shave it all, it won't come back though. But anyway, let's continue on. I want to take a look at the ETH coins. I want to take a look at the altcoins with you guys. Poker, you have to tell a story and stick to it. Like trading, you have to make a plan, stop loss, exit, everything, and you have to believe it. Could be wrong, but have to adjust. Absolutely. Shout out to Lunchable. I love that. Let's see. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Thank you for the super chat. Said CandleMafia and hashtag Givers Gain. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto, OG of the CandleMafia here. Welcome in, bro. Thank you for being here. And real quick, let me just shout out Retro Mike Tech. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said you can have any brew you want as long as it's a Corona. Yo, shout out to Retro Mike Tech. I love the Fast and the Furious memes. I love it. You can have any brew you want as long as it's a Corona. Shout out to Vin Diesel. But yeah, and shout out to 3 Diglets, bro. Thank you so much for that $100 super chat. Said we're cooked. That's it. We're cooked, guys. 100x short right now. And we're going to 0. Shout out to 3 Diglets. Bro, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, Diglet. You the man. Thank you. You did not have to do that, bro. Thank you. Shout out to Spaceland. Said, oh my God, this man is so legit. I love you, Frankie. Shout out to Spaceland. I appreciate you guys. Smash that like button. If we hit 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll give away $350 in Solana. I'll also add a bonus. If we don't hit 1,000 likes and somebody can guess this random object on my desk, no one's going to get this. I'll give you a hint. We'll give away $350 in Solana if someone can guess this exact thing. Shout out to Chemistry Bureau and Rob the Crypto Snob and Tyler Durden if you guys could keep an eye out for this. Actually, Tony D. Tony D, I know you're listening. If and when you get back to your office and you can get on the computer and watch chat, let me know. I'll text you what's on my desk. It's a bag. It is a bag, right, of some kind of a snack. It's a bag. It's a snack. And I'll say this. These things don't typically, it's not common to see these things in a bag. Usually they come in some other form of a container. But it is a bag. Color won't do anything for you. It's a bag of something. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quickly, guys. So, yeah, ETH. Well, this is the wrong chart. Let's pull up this actual ETH chart. Bada boom. Bada bing. And here we are. 786 got tapped. So let me break this down for you guys. As you know, lately on Ethereum, Tony said, text me now. I'm about to leave. We'll forward to the mods. Okay, awesome. Texting Tony. Hang on. Let me mute myself here. It's a new new rubber doll. It's a new girl doll. Bear with me here, guys. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I knew I wasn't muted. But anyway, let's continue on here. And this water, guys, is not common for your boy Frankie Candles, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, we gotta drink it. I was losing my voice before. But yeah, here we are. So on Ethereum, let me hide the let me hide the local level. So obviously, guys, as we look here, right, we tapped into that golden pocket. I'll actually show the local range first. So we have this local golden pocket 786 retracement sitting below our value area low. We knew, right, value area low could be support, but if we lost it, I much preferred this blue zone to get hit with daily bullish divergences. Higher lows, lower lows. We're not printing the daily bull div, and if we zoom in on Market Cipher here, VWAP is not aggressively coming up here, so it's a little bit early to call for that bull div, but this is what we were looking for, right? If we get that drop into the blue box and we're able to get these daily bullish divergences, tap that 786 or the golden pocket, but yesterday we tapped into the golden pocket. It wasn't looking good. We anticipate the 786 to get hit. Once you lose that golden pocket, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that 786 Fibonacci retracement, and then again, it's going to take some time to print this. It's, again, VWAPs. It's not like the VWAPs tapping on the zero line here at all, but it's something I'm watching, right? If we zoom on into some of these lower time frames, you could maybe look for the 12 and 16-hour bull divs to front run the daily here. Higher lows on your momentum waves, lower lows on your price action, right? And if you don't have Market Cipher B, you could obviously always look for your divergences on an RSI. Obviously, Market Cipher will give you some kind of an edge based off how it shows you the information. It gives you nice directional, like the money flow. You get a nice directional idea of where things are headed. This is how we call these moves so early. But if you don't have money to shell out for a premium indicator, right? If you do, I highly recommend Lux Algo and Market Cipher are both the best indicators I could possibly recommend for the Mafia. But if you don't have money, which I know a lot of people don't have a ton of money to lay out, you could use the free indicator on TradingView, which is just simply the RSI, right? To find the same signals with bullish divergences. Obviously, you won't have the money flow or any of the additional stuff Lux Algo has, but you can, obviously find the divergences. So if you're looking for that 12-hour, 16-hour bull div into the 786, this is probably going to front run the daily if we get it. VWAP's getting rejected, so it is a little bit of a sticky situation here. So yeah. Check that 10-hour. Yeah, 10-hour. I mean, it's probably not going to be printing, but yeah. So, you could, I would say 10, 12, 16-hour bull divs. If you get it here, we'll probably front run the daily, or we'll definitely front run the daily. And then locally here, you would look for the 4-hour bull div locally into the 786, right? So if you confirm that bull div on the 4-hour, you could potentially look for the continuation up here. Key resistance above, you got to get above the golden pocket, which sits at about, 2,400 to 2,425, and then once you get above that, value area low is still going to be key resistance at $2,500. I'll be honest, with the way things look right now, I'd put a pretty low probability on this being like a massive low for massive higher prices, right? My bias is still overall bearish here in the medium term. From a cycle perspective, I am cautiously optimistic, right? I don't think the bear market's in just yet. And it's not that I don't think the bear market's in just yet. There's just not enough on the charts for me to definitely call for that. But yeah, let's see. So if we pull up our macro range, I will just pull this up as well. If we wind up losing all those key levels, like we lose the 786 guys, very simple, right? The if this, then that, which the if this, then that's have been absolutely spanking lately. If we lose that 786, I am looking down towards the value area low, monthly naked point of control. And to be honest, I prefer this level. This is a much better level to bounce off of, in my opinion. Sure, here you could hold the higher low technically for a continuation up, and it's definitely possible. But at this point, right, if you don't hold this POC of the macro range, coming in like almost right on the 786, lose that 786, I'm definitely looking for a move down here between about $2,100 to $2,000. We have liquidity sitting below here. We also have the value area low and a monthly naked point of control. So if we come down here, this would be a more favorable level, in my opinion, to look for a long on ETH. However, you could potentially take an honorable mention look for an entry in here based off of what I just talked about. So there you go. But other than that, I mean, take a look at the 2-day. Money flow crossing over into the red. I mean, this is macro, higher time frame bearish, right? So there you go. And yeah, it's really hard, right? Like, so like when you call for like the full bear market, again, like it's very difficult because if you're looking at it, we could see that 2-day money, like maybe we get a little bounce, right? You come back down, right? We come to the 786. Like people, like even especially we hang out down here, like people are going to call that the bear market. When I mention the bear market, I am talking about a cyclical 4-year bear cycle. I'm talking about this, right? I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this, right? I am talking about a prolonged 4-year cycle bear market. And again, that whole idea would go out the window if we saw some kind of financial black swan event happen, which might be the case, right? Before we see enough pain in the market to start up that QE and then send it back to higher prices, right? Like we still have a lot to go down here before you can call a confirmed bear market. But some warning signs are there. So there you go. But anyway, let's continue on here. So that's what we're looking at on Ethereum. Blueberries. Nope, blueberries is close. I'll say this. It's not refrigerated. You don't have to refrigerate this snack. Let's see. Pigs in a blanket is crazy. It's not super random either. Like, it's not like mustard, right? Like, this is something that I was eating at my desk. Yeah, so last time it was just a bottle of mustard, which is super random to have on your desk. Let's see. Yo, T-Money says money nuts. Yeah, we do have stacks of money on the desk, that's for sure. Yeah, shout out to Master. We got those too, but it's not the bag that I'm talking about. Dried apricots is crazy, yo. Oh, okay. Chemistry Bro said he's never heard of it. So, interesting. So maybe it is kind of random. I don't know. This one's going to be difficult. Here. This is what I'll say, guys. Just so we don't clog up the chat, I'm going to open up Q&A. And let's go ahead and... Can I not do Q&A anymore? Hang on a second. How do I open up Q&A? Tony, hang on. Can I not do... How do I do a Q&A? What is going on here? Oh, here we go. I started a Q&A. You got to specify because this is actually extremely random. Unless you don't care if they nail the flavor. Oh, no, you don't have to nail the flavor. You don't have to nail the flavor. Just nail the general. Yeah, you don't have to nail the flavor. That'd be impossible. But yeah, I opened up Q&A. Put your guesses here. Drop it in the Q&A, and then we'll keep the chat for like the crypto-related questions so I can just stick around on chat so I can answer if anybody's confused. But there you go. I just opened up Q&A. Doritos is good. But anyway, it's a sweet treat. There we go. That's all I'm giving. It's a sweet snack. I'll narrow it down for you guys a little bit. But there we go. That's what I'm looking at on Ethereum. We'll see. Lose the POC 786. Calling for $21,000 to $2,000. Let's jump into Solana here. And here we are back down towards that value area low of the range. You know, again, let's see the 4 hour real quick. 4 hour on Solana. Yeah, I mean, you do have the bull div into your key level, but I'll be honest, I would rather wait for a better signal down here. I'm not looking to FOMO long this, right? We're still above the value area low, which would be the highest probability level to tap in the within the volume profile. So yeah, I don't know if I love that, right? Like, could you catch that for a scalp to the upside? Maybe. But, you know, what do we say? Lose the value area high. Look for a move down to the POC 786. Lose the POC. Come back down to the value area low. Daily zone, right? This zone is the next key level of support on Solana. 100% the level you want to watch. If we can't hold this, that's where I think Solana, you know, obviously you want to be careful as you deviate below the volume profile for a quick reclaim, flip of the level, come back up. But this is definitely the next key zone. This is sitting between 131.79 and 124.76. If we continue down, I'd love to see that value area low tapped. Right now, so we'll see. Again, like, I don't love the confirmation here, right? Let's take a look at the daily again. Yeah. No daily bull. I guess you could call that a daily bull div potentially, right? It's almost invalidated here, but it is a higher low. So just barely. So yeah, lower lows. Daily bullish divergence technically there. I would like to see like more of a local bull div down here on the daily for a strong move up. But key levels down below remain the same. And when you get these quick moves down, guys, you kind of have to let price action settle, right? Like, it's unless you're trying to catch knives, which I was trying to do today, and I got stopped out once, and then, you know, this one's now in profit. But I would like to see a little bit more development on the price action here. But if we do dip down, this is your key level of support. Deviate below the profile with bullish confirmations. Reclaim the value area low. Maybe you can get a little move up. But I would be sitting on my hands here on Solana. But these are definitely the key zones of support to be looking at. Let's see. Tony D said, I am driving and cannot actively read chat. The mods do not have access to the Q&A answers. So we're not going to know if somebody unless you monitor. Dang. All right, well, I don't know. Pause that idea. I guess nobody has guessed it yet. So pause your guesses here, guys, and we'll just wait for Tony. And if he does, Colin, you're not close as far as like your guess, but you are close in the first sound of the word. Melon. That bag of whatever it is, the first syllable of melon sounds like the first syllable of what we're talking about. Let's see. Glad to be back for the magic. Shout out to Brand Flakes. Let's get it. Okay. Just cancel the Q&A. Q&A's over. Get out of the Q&A, everybody. Let's see. End Q&A. Bada boom. All right. Let's continue on. Macaroni. That's a good guess. I guess that's good. What do I think about Jupiter? We could take a look at Jupiter in just a second. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at, Solana. You know, again, we're just seeing what we were looking for yesterday play out. We got stuck under the POC. We come back down into the zone. I'd like to come a little deeper here. But we'll see. Let's take a look at Jupe. Not Japu. Jupe. Let's take a sip of that. Oh, shout out. Hang on. Pause it. Actually, never mind. Good thing I didn't front run that. I thought somebody got it. Oh, no, someone did get it. Shout out to Michael. Michael, you won, bro. You won it. It's a bag of Milano. Shout out to you, bro. How did you do that? Well, there you go. We got a winner, guys. Shout out to the mods. Mentos is crazy. Mods, if we could just mark down Michael. Unless someone said it before him, but I did just see him drop that in there. So let's go. Unbelievable. Yeah, there we go. Rob. Yeah, see, Rob's on point, baby. Let's go. $350 in Solana to Michael. Let's get it. $1,000, $1,000 likes on the live stream. We'll still add $350 in Solana to our, I think, already $350 in Solana giveaway on Friday. So if we get 1,000 likes, we'll get $700 in Solana still given away on Friday. If not, we still got $350. But shout out to Michael. Congratulations, bro. Let's get it. Congrats to Michael. That's way hard. Yeah, shout out to Jay Pilot. That was a difficult one. But for $350, I mean, easy money. But anyway, let's continue on here. Let's take a look at real quick. We took a look at Solana. Let's take a quick look at XRP. Then we'll jump into Jupiter. So yeah, XRP down below, slip below that value area low. We're back in. At the end of the day, this all remains the same on XRP, right? We hold above the value area low. We look for the continuation up to the POC, flip the POC, look for the value area high. Very simple. But is that probable? I'll be honest with you. I would put a low probability on that. Fresh 6-hour, fresh 8-hour, red dot looking to print. Let's check that lower time frame money flow. Yeah, money flow coming out on the 30-minute. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the low is in just yet. Key level down below, 786, sitting at $2. Break down below the value area high. Look for that 786 at $2. This would be another area where we could potentially look for bullish confirmations for a move back into the value area low, which is going to be key resistance until proven otherwise. Get back above the value area low, then you can get the bigger move up. But as of right now, I'd probably want to sit on my hands and let this just kind of continue to move. Yeah, you don't have the bullish divergence here. You have higher lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. Yeah, I would have liked to see a div into this level, which we did not get. So if we, maybe get, let's check the higher time frames here. Yeah, 16-hour red dot printing. I think you probably get a little bit more of a continuation down here on XRP. Next key level, very simple, $786, $2. That's what I would look for. Maybe you get some short-term turbulence, but again, I'd probably be much more likely to look for that move down to the 786. But there we go. Let's see. Raw Ginger's an amazing wake-up call. I would agree. Let's see. Yeah, we could take a look at Pi for sure. Okay, so let's take a look at Jupe. Yeah, Jupe getting the nice bounce. Deviation below the value area low. Yeah, you didn't get your daily div, unfortunately. I mean, I guess you did get this like long div, but I really like to see it a little bit more locally. Yeah, I mean, you're breaking above this doorway to higher prices. Again, like, I'm not saying, you got to be careful, right? Like, the trend clearly here is a downtrend, right? Like, you don't want to get too aggressively bullish here. But, and I wouldn't necessarily long right now. You may be long on a retest of that value area low, not financial advice. But those value area low is going to be key resistance until proven otherwise. Let me see. Did you get any, like, nice bullish divergences? Yeah, no 4-hour bull div down here. I like to see those 4-hour bull divs with money flow coming up, guys, for a strong bottom to likely be in. That's what I like to look for. But we don't really have that. You have the 1 hour, no bull div. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of bull divs here on the alts here. Yeah, you didn't even get it here. Yeah. I'll give you the key levels here. I mean, if you hold above 72 cents at this value area low, at the end of the day, if you break above here and you hold it as support, you could look for a move into the POC. I would be somewhat careful here. I would probably pay attention to these levels, right? Golden pocket retracement of the local swing high to the low coming in here at 77 to 76 cents. And then POC 786 is also confluent here at about 79 to 80 cents or, pretty much 80 cents. If you hold above this value area low, this is technically the doorway into your POC. You have to understand the local levels that are sitting here. Technically, your 1 hour money flow is coming up. Let's check the 16-hour. 16-hour bull div is confirmed. You don't have it locally, but you do have it here, right? Lower lows, technical higher lows. Again, I would still like to see. I don't like that this is a lower low. But at the end of the day, if, a couple ways that you can kind of trade the value areas, right? You could either wait. I typically like to catch my longs below the value area low. That way, by the time I hit the resistance, I'm already in profit, right? And then if you flip it, great. The other way you could do it is what looks like what's happening right now. is you could wait for the reclaim of that value area low. Wait to get in, flip it to support, and then that's where there you go. That's where your doorway opens to get that bigger move up. So we'll see. Maybe and then kind of the way that would look, again, I'm not saying to enter in on this big green candle, obviously. I would never tell you that. But, if you're able to catch that retracement into the value area low, you can always look at that as like a little bit of a sign of strength to then target the POC of the range, right? And at the end of the day, you could potentially just take that as a little scalp, right? If you entered here, super tight stop loss, right? And then if you hold above support, cool. You get that continuation up. And again, this is not a setup. I'm not telling people to take this trade, please, for the love of God. This is not a trade signal. I'm just saying that's oftentimes, if you're not catching your entries down here below the low, which again, was what I typically like to do, but sometimes you can't be at the chart when that happens. So you can always wait for the breakup and then the reclaim of that value area low. And then as long as you stay above this level, you could potentially have that doorway open to the POC. But please remember, you do have these key levels of resistance above. 76 cents at the golden pocket, and then you have the 79 cents, 80 cent level at the POC. And then, hey, if you flip that POC, at that point, you can always take profit, right? And again, in this, bearish situation that we're in right now, you got to be careful, obviously. You got to be very, 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 very careful at the, you got to be very, very careful here at the value area low, right? Because if you lose it, you're just going to continue the downtrend. But, if you do get up here, again, I like entering down here because I could TP1 at the value area low. But if you stay in here, right, TP potentially at the golden pocket. But generally, I take the TP1 at the POC, TP2 at the value area high. But at that point, right, if you get to that golden pocket and you're in profit, you can then move your stop loss into profit, right? And then get above the golden pocket, go for the 786. Then you could kind of just trail your stop loss up. That way, if you do get an aggressive dump back to the downside, right, you get stopped out in profit. So that's kind of what I would look for. Let's check back in on Bitcoin here. Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin, kind of just bing-bonging around here. Just kind of bing-bonging around. Let's see. Green dot printing on the 12-minute, 15-minute. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Price prediction, if we see alt season for Jupe. Really hard. It's probably not going to be something that, this is just based off technicals. What I would look at as far as technical targets for the, right, I would just look to, if you break the high, come into the Fibonacci extensions. This does not guarantee that if you come back up that you're definitely going to come into these zones, but I would say like some bigger levels to look at. I can almost guarantee, I don't want to say almost guarantee, but like if you break those highs, that you're very likely to react out off this zone here, right? 213, mid-level is about 235, and then at the upper end about 259. This would be a first target. If you do wind up getting a big move up, break the 786, I would look to play up in here. Right? Break above that, I would probably look at about 339 to 381, which, what kind of gain would that be? We could call it 250 to the first target, 400% to the second target. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go higher, right? You would have to do a little bit more research as far as like market cap goes and all that good stuff. If you believe in the project, right? Like it really depends. But these would be definitely the next stops that I would look at in all-time highs if you break the high. Very hard to say where the exact peak would be, right? Like a lot of these price predictions that you see online that are just like, this coin's going to go to this target, right? Like those are really hard calls to make, right? So I just stick to the technicals. And if you know anything about Fibonacci extension levels, these are typically, it's very hard to call. Like what I would do really here is I would look for the move, right? If I get bearish confirmations here, like, hey, maybe we're not going to go much higher. But you assess the situation at these levels. And for the altcoins, it's not a bad idea if you have a good entry to take partial profits in the Fibonacci extension zones. But this will change depending on what price action does down here. If we get another big dump to the downside, these levels will change. But right now, these are the kind of next targets to the upside I would look at. If you get above them, great. You can pull new levels and then find those next targets to the upside. Let's see. Shout out to K Diggity. Where are the cool kids going after the show? We're gonna hit the drunken clam, just like we did last night. Let's see. I would wait for $5 and over. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying it can't go to $5, but I'm not saying it can't go to above $5 either. But like for me personally, for like altcoins, very dangerous situation. If you were here in the last bull market and you were new to crypto in the last bull market, just hoping for a price target to get hit and just holding your whole bag, waiting for that price target is very dangerous. I do not do that, right? And if you're ever new to crypto, especially if you're getting your targets from like the internet and people are just saying like, this one's going to go to the moon, it's very difficult, very difficult. So, you always want to pay yourself along the way. And, most people just want to hold it for the jackpot. Very, very risky. But at the end of the day, right, if you come up to this first target and things look strong, you could reassess the situation and be like, hey, we're getting a real strong reaction through this, through this level. I'm just not going to take profit here and wait for the next one. That's, I have to assess the situation for sure, right? You might just melt right through these levels. In that case, you repull new levels and you find the next targets. But I do not recommend, right? It's like XRP. I talk about this all the time. My targets, right, if we go into massive new all-time highs for XRP, are between $5 and $15, right? If we go higher, I'll find those targets then. I am not holding my XRP bags until we hit $14 because that's the highest target. That's how you get wrecked, right? Because then you fall into the situation where if you're up there, right? If you get close to there, you're like, oh, we're about to hit the target. We're about to hit the target. And then you lose this one and you're like, oh, okay. All right. Well, we're just a retracement. This is a retracement. I knew it. $14 incoming. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's a lower high. Oh, no, we aren't. Never mind. And then you just wind up holding that bag and you're just going to hold to wish for that higher target. And and it's really hard to sell on the way down too because you're just hopeful. And that's how you wind up holding your bags until the bottom. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, you could do whatever you want. I recommend you do whatever you want. I'm just showing you what works for me. Well, let's see. Yeah, laddering out is probably the best thing in my opinion. Shout out to Elon Musk in the chat, baby. Drop those spaceships in the chat for Elon Musk. Let's see. We'll take a look at yeah, Pi is such an outlier right now. Yeah. You're always going to have the outliers, 100%. There's always outliers in the market. Yeah, we looked at this yesterday where this thing was crazy looking yesterday. Let me see. I don't even know if we marked this chart up just because it was like so weird looking. But yeah, man, I think we did mark this out somewhere. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to find it. We might have, we might not have. But if we just look at this, right, yesterday when we were looking at this, very hard to call levels on this, right? Because if you just come back in time, like we were talking about how this looks like a bull pennant, right? Whether it breaks up from that bull pennant or not, right? It's like kind of hard to say. Obviously, this one wound up playing out beautifully, giving you a massive rip to the upside, 78%. But like even this is like still super, super hard. I mean, I could maybe pull from this crazy wick down to the low. Yeah, if you hold above this 786, next target I would look at. $356 up to about $390, $399. Break that, I would look at about 448, right? Doesn't mean you're about to just guaranteed slam right up there. But if you could stay above this, at this point, right, if you were looking at this golden pocket 786, where would you expect the rejection from? You would expect it from here. You hold above it, going to look for that bigger move up. And this is also really hard because I can't get higher time frame context, right? Like I don't know what the 16-hour looks like. I don't know what the 6-hour looks like, right? There's like no information. So we could really only look at the key levels. And in this case, I would say hold above 786 at 248. That's where you could potentially hold support and continue up to these next targets, right? And, honorable mentions up here. I mean, with the way this thing's been moving, who knows? But, I would assess the situation as things go on. But, up here, $6, $6.80. But, yeah, next local target, I'd say 356 is the next big level to the upside. So we'll see. But, again, other than that, kind of hard to say, right? Like even the 1-hour money flow is coming up. 24-minute money flow kind of flat. I mean, you do have some you do technically have some divs printing here, which could cool you off, but money flow's coming up nicely. So money flow is going to indicate the overall trend, whereas the red dot and the divergence might just cause a cool off. So I would look to hold that 786 if you can. I'd look for another, if you do push back up, I'd look to come into these targets up here. Simply put, get those targets right there. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Pharaoh of America. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He says, what do you make of altcoins holding during this Bitcoin dump? Kind of odd, no? Well, shout out to Pharaoh. I actually can't believe I forgot to look at the dominance. Odd, maybe a little bit, but this is a scenario I wanted to talk about. I forgot to talk about it in the beginning of the stream. This is a scenario that I do think is possible, guys. If we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, you could see Bitcoin dominance is starting to get a little bit of a pullback here. Now, it is a little bit local, right? It's not the biggest pullback. But again, if we wind up losing this value area low and this golden pocket, and we get a bigger dump on Bitcoin dominance, we could potentially see a situation where Bitcoin actually sees the bigger drop to the downside, where maybe if the Bitcoin dominance continues to drop, we might be able to see some of the altcoins give us a bit of a pump. Right now, as of right now, like I'll just look at Cardano, for example, you know, the chart as far as market cipher goes, money flow still coming out. This is still technically bearish, right? So it's a really hard call to make, but that is definitely something that you could see happen, right? A potential drop on Bitcoin. Bitcoin absolutely nukes the bed, and then if the dominance keeps dropping, we might be able to see, maybe the whales are starting to take profit. Someone was mentioning that the whales are offloading. Maybe they're looking to rotate back into some altcoins. You know, that is definitely a possibility that we could see happen. I actually wanted to bring that up because we are starting to see a little bit of a drop in dominance. Again, nothing really too crazy, but I would watch the dominance very, very closely, because if we can get that bigger dump to the downside, you may be able to see the situation where Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dumps and the dominance dumps, and then the alts start to run. Maybe. It's definitely something that can happen. You have your 12-hour money flow looking to cross over into the red, and one of the big signals I will be looking at in order to call for alt season will be the money flow crossover into the red on the daily on Market Cipher B. I have an alert set for this. If we start to see that, this in the past it has been what we see when we get the real big drops down. You can see that last daily money flow crossover right here. Absolute massive drop to the downside. So something to keep in mind. That's exactly what I make of that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Shout out to Creighton C. Says, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tony, when you grab the cookies, could I get some vanilla ice cream and a box of Captain Crunch, Crunchberry? Thanks. It tastes good. Thanks. What? It tastes good. Fine. Do TA. Shout out to Creighton C. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Captain Crunchberries. The best cereal ever invented. Also, the sharpest cereal that is ever invented. You ever eat Crunchberries and it just like wrecks your mouth? Ugh, horrible. Total 3. Let's take a look at Total 3 again as well. This is another thing we can look at. Yeah, so Total 3, what I would look for here is, man, I don't know, right? Like, we have to take the charts for what they're worth, right? Like, we have to take them at face value. You have a little bit of like an exaggerated-ish. I don't know if I'd call this a bull div, to be honest with you. Yeah, I wish we had, this daily bull div. What if somebody clip it? What if we hold the 786 with daily bullish divergences on Total 3? That daily bull div, especially if we come up a little bit, oh, man, it's so close, right? Depending on how this closes, right? If we can get a pump up, you might be able to get that momentum wave to move up for a daily bullish divergence. If you got that, you might be able to get a push up here, but even at that point, right, like when you're looking at the money flow still coming out, I would still have to view that as a lackluster retracement, lower high and continuation down. But if you're going to hold a higher low, you would like it to happen on this level. So if you get that daily bull div, again, you need that momentum wave to make a higher low, which we don't have right now. So we'll see if we get that green dot. But, you would want to hold this zone, right? Maybe we don't put a low in, right? Is the low in on Total 3? Well, if you hold that 786, that's where you would hope. If you're going to hold a higher low here locally, this is definitely the level that you would want to hold, right? That 786. You would want to hold this. That's your best bet. Now, again, high probability, I don't know, right? Money flow coming out on the daily. No real bull div at this point, so it is definitely a little bit sketchy, but it is something you can look at. If you think the low is in here on Total 3, that would be the level you want to hold. But again, at the end of the day, you really got to flip this value area low at $931.2 billion to support in order to really see an alt season come in. So yeah, sticky situation. We'll have to keep an eye on that dominance. Fear and Greed hit 10. Extreme Fear, last time we hit this level was June 2022, 3 years ago. Shout out to Bite Thief. Yeah, absolutely crazy. It's another thing to look at, right? Like Extreme Fear is typically not the time to just start to look for, crazy shorts at the low. I'm in a soul short. Shout out to the Echelon show. Says, hey, Frank, I'm in a soul short. My entry is 130.88. What is the likelihood we will revisit that price? Very difficult situation for me to call. But 100 in a short from 130.88. 130. Oh, dang. Well, I have to say it. Not anytime you're looking for shorts, you do not want to short on the way down. You do not want to short as you're dumping. Which looks like, just make sure. Looks like that might be the case. 130. Yeah, 130.88. Yeah. You do not want to dump on you want to short on the dumps, right? You want to short. It's not that you can't short on a downtrend, right? But you would want to short as price pumps, right? You want to short as it's pushing up. That's where you want to look for the shorts, right? So you would want to look for the shorts as you're pumping. So likelihood of us revisiting that price is extremely hard to put a percentage on. Me personally, not that I would do this, but if I were to short here, and it's fine. Don't feel bad about that, right? Like, especially if you're learning how to trade, this is something you're going to have to learn, right? And the only way to learn it is to make the mistake and then just correct it, right? So you came into the daily, right? So essentially, if you were taking a short here, if that were the case, I would think you're shorting into key support, right? We literally tapped into our key level of support, and then you're shorting. Obviously, not the best situation. So the fact that you're bouncing here, you're hitting the key level, it's very hard. I can't put a percentage on it. But what I would say is, for me, if I were shorting here, it would have to be on like a low time frame, right? On one of these pumps back to the upside, right? So if I were looking to short here, my stop loss would be like above this high, right? So, if you don't have a stop loss set, that's number one. You always want to have a stop loss set because if you don't, you're going to wind up stuck in an underwater trade where you're just waiting for price to come back down. And although it can, if it doesn't, you're going to wind up in a bad situation. So for me personally, I can't put a percentage really on how quickly we're going to come down there or if we're going to come down there. I think we will come down there at some point. But if we do, there might be a lot more pain for your short before that happens. So I don't want to say even if I thought it was I don't think this, but even if I thought it was like a 90% chance we come back down there, not really a good place to, you could get absolutely liquidated before you come back down there. So I can't put a percentage on it. But what I would say is, for me personally, if I was stuck in that trade, I would just take the loss. Personally, for me, this is not financial advice for you. This is just what I would do. Take the loss. I would just get stopped out. But if I didn't, I would just cut the loss and then just wait for the next trade and make sure that I understand the context of where I'm taking the trade so I don't find myself in that situation again. I know that's not what you want to hear. You just want to hear, tell me I'm definitely not going down there, or I definitely am going down there. But I can't do that, right? It's impossible. So yeah. I do think, like I said earlier when we looked at Solana, I would like to get a push back into this deeper level, so I'm hoping for that. But yeah, it's that you could get a lot more pain on that short. So me personally, if I were in this situation, I would just cut my loss here and reassess the situation at a better level. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but let's see. Shout out to J-Bone said, one side note, Elon, the Cybertruck looks so odd driving down the road. Yeah, shout out to J-Bone, quite possibly the ugliest vehicle ever created. Let's see. Shout out to Mensch says, Frankie Candles, are you posting your entries and making live trading sessions a little like a Signals group? Shout out to Mensch. No, I do not have a Signals group. My premium Discord is not a Signals group, right? It is a premium trading Discord. I give I give my trade setups with what confirmations I'm looking for. So I don't just tell you where to buy and where to sell, right? So for example, right, let's just pretend, right? Let's just pretend this was a setup I was looking at, right? It wasn't, but let's just pretend it was. Before price ever comes down to this level, right? Let's just go into bar replay mode real quick, right? this is how the Discord will look, right? It is not a signals group. If you're looking for a place to get in and just have someone tell you, buy here, sell here, that is not what our Discord is for. I actually teach you how to be a profitable trader. You get the personal trade setups with the confirmations and all that good stuff. And I do walk people through price action. I keep you updated on what trades I'm making, when I'm taking them. I don't say like, sometimes I do. It depends on what the situation is. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, took an aggressive long here. But it's never going to be buy here, sell here, or I'm longing. Like if I ever say, hey, I'm taking a long here, it's never to be taken as a buy signal. But what I do is I share my personal trade setups. I don't want to spend the time to like go into the Discord and hunt out for an example. But, I will say, hey, guys, hey, we have a lot of confluence here. Let's pretend that's the case, right? We have a ton of confluence here. I am looking for if we can get a drop down, which I am expecting, right? If we come into this level and we see, for example, a swing failure pattern based off the liquidity we have below into key support and bullish divergences that look like they might form on this time frame with these order flow confirmations, if we come down here and I see those confirmations, I will take the trade, right? That is how the premium Discord works. I don't say, buy here, sell here, right? It is not a signals group. Signals groups do not work. I have the Mafia prepared as price before price comes into those levels, so they know, right? Because at that point, if I'm not at the desk and I don't take the trade, right, then they miss out, right? So like we have those key levels with the confirmation. So it's like if price comes down here and we see X, that's where I look for the long. I'm looking to ride it up to here for whatever reason, right? So it's an if this, then that. And it typically does wind up working out pretty well. So it's not really a signals group. I will never tell you where to buy and sell. I just share with you my personal trade setups and the ones that I'm looking to take. So there you go. I've shown tons of examples of the premium Discord in the past. So, but yeah, there you go. Definitely not a signals group. Singles group, yes. Yes, we are singles friendly. But there you go. There you go. Let's see. Cybertruck is ugly AF. However, I'm getting one after alt season just to piss off my neighbors. No Lamborghini, no yacht, just the ugly thing in my driveway with my victory. Yo, shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Let's go. Let's see. Don't tell Mrs. Candles. Let's see. When you drop hard in cryptos, hard to tell people be looking reckless. Shout out to Jay. I don't know if I 100% understand what that means. But shout out to Jay. Hey, yo, Jay. Can we get some ratchet one time? Let's see. Sometimes too singles friendly. I appreciate the picks, ladies, but I'm taken. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go. Let's see. How likely do we get above the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin? Again, I do have my short there. 100x. Oh, baby, I hope you got a stop loss set. 200-day on Bitcoin. 200-day EMA. Let's check it. Bada boom, bada bing. Hard to say. I mean, we got to come back out of replay mode. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we get the bigger pump and we hold that anchored VWAP, I mean, again, it's hard to say, right? Like it really depends. Like if we come up, right? If we get the blast out of here and we get the push up into the golden pocket 786 and we get bearish confirmations and money flows coming, it's like it's not that simple to just be like, hey, we have an 80% chance unless it's inside a volume profile. I would say, if the POC was where that 200-day moving average was and we flip that value area low, then you could kind of put maybe an 80% chance of coming up there. But I will say this: if we get the bigger retracement to the upside, this 200-day is confluent. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not the 200-day. Hang on. Actually, this is still, yeah, it's going to be confluent with the next level of resistance. So, yeah, it's kind of hard, right? Because if I pull from the high to the low here, yeah, like this is the next bigger target to the upside, right? The macro target would be the value area low up here at 92.6, but it's all on resistance, right? Like, so the next target for me, right? Local target is 88.4 to 88. 88.4 to about 87K, right? So my thought is, hey, maybe if we get the bigger retracement, this is the first major level of resistance. But if we go lower time frame here, let me hang on one sec. So this is 85,646. And then we pull our fib again. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's right on resistance. I mean, yeah, it's hard to put an exact probability, right? Like, just to tell somebody, like, hey, there's a 60% chance it happens. It's almost like a signal, right? It's like it seems, and this is just because this is what it typically is. It seems like you want to know if, hey, Frankie, should I hold my long or my short to, should I hold my trade to get up here? Which is never going to work, even if I am right? Like, it just doesn't work. That's why I don't do signals. If signals were that easy, right? Because if I tell you that, right, even if I say there's a 100% chance, there's always a chance, no matter how confident that you feel that the move is going to happen, there's always a chance that it's just not going to happen, right? That's why managing the risk is so important. So yeah, it's really hard to put a probability on it, right? Like, I would hope, right, for the retracement, I would hope to at least get the move up into the daily here at 87.5, right? But like, to just say that's definitely going to happen is very, very hard. So yeah, I wish I could give more of a direct signal, but it's just impossible. Let's see. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Creighton C. Said Frankie's TA is free. It's tasty, and it comes with Milanos, all free. Hats free. Free crypto as well. Smash that like button. Shout out to Crane C. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. But yeah, can Bitcoin move? Dang, let's go. Yeah, it's just kind of stalling out here. Let's see. My short entry is... shout out to Mensch. I don't know exactly what that says. It looks like a typo. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Chemistry Bro. Said, by the way, the setting for the EMA, you can set the time frame to be daily and then look at the low time frame chart while the EMA stays at the daily level. Yeah, shout out to Chem Bro. Thank you for that, bro. Yeah, I don't use EMAs that much, to be quite honest. I much prefer like the only reason that I shout out to Chem Bro. I actually did not know that. Or maybe I did. To be honest, I haven't really used EMAs in forever. It's not that it's not important, right? It doesn't mean that they don't work or anything like that. Obviously, moving average are very useful. But yeah, I don't really use them that much. I prefer the anchored VWAP because the way I trade is more level to level. So I'll look at like a 200-day EMA, the big EMAs, the important ones on a higher time frame to kind of like indicate like, real critical levels in the market. But like, even then, right, like nothing's ever going to be like 100%, right? Like even here, it's like, I know a lot of people think like certain EMAs could call for a bear market or a bull market. And although that is possible and like there is truth to that, the way I trade is just, I'd rather look at the anchored VWAPs, which is very similar to a moving average. Right, but you're just, it's a VWAP that you're selecting a range of candles to look at. So I just prefer to do that. Because again, like you could slip these big levels and then just get a massive move up, right? And for anyone new or learning how to trade, it's never as simple as like, hey, a lot of people will do like hindsight, right? Where they're like, see, we lost this level and then it went down. And it's like, well, yeah, but like, look, like you can't cherry pick the times that it has only worked, right? Like I'll always tell you guys like, hey, look at this money flow crossover, very reliable. But, if we get a fake out, it's possible, right? It's possible to get these things to fake out. But like, you could lose this 200-day moving average, right? And then it's like, you just yeet right back up. You lose it again, yeet back up. You lose it again, yeet back up, right? So just the way I trade, I don't really use moving averages that much, at least anymore. I used to use them a lot more. Again, not that they're not useful. It's just me personally. That's kind of how I handle things. Let's see. Let's see. Stupid Bitcoin says, Frankie, I was watching Crypto Face, and he says the gates are open about Market Cipher. Do you know what that means? Do you know this signal? No, I do not know that signal. Drop it in the chat, and maybe we'll take a look at it. Let's see. What do I use for short-term scalps? I use everything I normally use for regular trades. For short-term scalps, I'm usually using Market Cipher B. For example, right? Like I'm using Market Cipher B. I'm using Fibonacci levels. I'm using the volume profile, and I'm also using the order flow chart. I use Exo charts. So yeah. Let's see. Could you please look at virtuals? Yeah, we can take a look at virtuals. Let's see. I want to know about the gates. Shout out to Stupid Vic. Oh, there we go. It's the wave crest color. The silk. Huh? Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Could you clarify? I'm curious. Now I'm really curious. I'm going to have to go check out that video. Let's see. When the VWAP is wide open on the indicator, I believe. All right. Well, let's continue on. While more information is developing on that, let's check out virtuals. Let's see here. I think we have a virtuals chart. No? Do we not? How do we not have a virtuals chart? Am I on the right template here? Whoops. Yeah, I would be the max C chart if anything. All right, so let's see here. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, daily money flow in the red. You do have, bullish divergence formed here on the daily. I'm just going to pull some key levels here. Let me pull some levels really fastly, because that's a word. Who was saying, shout out to Creighton C. What were we saying? Wisdomness? He said, I'm here for Frankie's wisdomness or something like that. Is that a word? It should be. It should be. VWAP from Market Cipher B always drops to minus 21 before price bounces almost there on the weekly. Shout out to Crypto Mike. I'm going to have to go look this up. Okay, so let's just take a quick look here. Let me mark out some key levels. No real key weekly or monthlies. Your weekly is down here. Next weekly would be, is that tapped? That is not tapped, so you have a weekly there, and I'll mark out some dailies here as well. Daily. Oh, that's tapped, actually. Nope, not tapped. Barely tapped. Another daily down here. And you have another daily right here, which is not tapped. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'll actually mark out a couple more of these. Yeah, you have a daily here. This is pretty far away. That daily is tapped. And then you have another daily up here. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit of a wonky chart, if I'm being honest. Not wonky in a bad way, just wonky as in the way I want to do the TA. It's kind of hard. It's no real significant value area. So let me go. I'm going to go lower time frame on this so I can actually pull a range here. Yeah, it's kind of hard. There's like really no range to pull other than this one right here, which might be able to help us. Let's take a look. Neutral. All right, so these are the levels I would look at. You do have the daily bull div confirmed. I mean, it's really hard, man. It's not that pretty. Money flow trying to come back up. Key level of resistance above locally would be, let me pull from this high to the low. Let's pull from this high to this low. So yeah, your next local level of resistance is going to be that golden pocket 786. Get above that 786. Looks to come into the value area low daily. That would be your next key level to the upside. Get above that POC daily. Confluence above. So these are definitely the key levels of resistance I would look at. This daily is going to be your key level of support to the downside, but really hard. I mean, your money flow is coming up here on the 12-hour. This doesn't look low time frame, super choppy. 4-hour money flow trying to come up. This actually doesn't look as bad as a lot of other stuff, to be quite honest. 2-day looking miserable here. Money flow coming to the downside, not looking that great. 3-day... Yeah, 4-day green dot looking to print. So it's kind of hard to give a direct answer on this one just because hard to mark this chart up the way I do my TA. Even if I pulled this as a profile. Yeah, you could kind of look at this as maybe a local profile right here. But, yeah, I would say, locally, value area low. I would even say the daily's probably bigger key level. Yeah, this is a rough chart, to be honest. Yeah, I would just say watch this golden pocket 786 above. If you could get above this, you can get the push into about $1.41. Flip that to support. I'd be looking up towards $1.50. As far as market cipher goes, I mean, you got to be careful. This VWAP's been above the zero line for quite some time. Money flow doesn't look bad. Money flow does not look the worst. But you got to be careful of the retracement before, right? That VWAP crosses over and gives you the red dot. You might get the cool off before that money flow crosses over to give you the continuation up. But these are definitely the levels I would look at. And to be quite honest, like this local range is like an honorable mention. I would just see, get above the 786, look for the move into the value area low, flip that, look for the move into $1.56. Rough chart to look at as far as the price action goes. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Falling knife from 84K. Falling knife from 84K. Oh my God. She's pulling back. She's pulling back. She's pulling back, guys. It's going to zero. It's going to zero. But yeah, I mean, guys, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. If we get the bigger retracement, right? If we're able to get out of here, you got to get above. I mean, I guess this level too. 200-day moving average. But for the most part here, you got to get above the SFP level, which is that range low. Flip that to support. Maybe we can get a push into here. But again, I would be very careful. If the long plays out for us, great. If not, again, this is more of a hedge against my shorts because I'm much heavier short than I am long. But we came down into our zone. We got the confirmation, so we got to fire on some kind of position, or I do. It's just part of my rules. If the confirmations aren't there, unless I'm willing to take a risky knife catch, I just wait for the confirmations, and we did get them. So we'll see what happens if we stop out of the long. You guys know we have those key levels down below. Daily naked point of control, 81.9, almost 82K. With the bottom of that golden pocket, lose that level, come down to the daily naked point of control at 80K, lose 80K, guys. We do not want to lose that. We lose 80K, that is potentially where this thing could start to continue to get absolutely aggressive to the downside. But just if you guys take anything away from tonight's stream, please, for the love of God, take what we look for to anticipate these moves. The liquidity below the range low. Let's get rid of this so I can see a better... hide some of this TA just so I don't confuse everybody with all these lines, right? There's not a lot of support under here. We have liquidity sitting below, so we know once we break into that low volume gap, we're going to get that quick move to the downside. Readjust here so we get the actual volume we want to look at, right? We were clinging onto that 87.3 level, right? We knew if we lost it, we were going to fall into the low volume gap down to where the volume starts picking up here at the golden pocket. We tap in. We get a little bit of a bounce. But just understand, guys, when you look at this, at the end of the day, we zoom out a little bit more. At the end of the day, this volume gap. Come on. Come on, volume. There we go. This volume gap, just understand. This volume gap leads you all the way down not only to 80K, right? 80K is the next biggest significant spike in volume at 80K. You lose that. I mean, this whole area all the way down to about 75 is a low volume gap. You have a little spike at 76 by the 786. But at the end of the day, like, we did not want to fall into this gap, even if we get the retracement. Like, just keep in mind, like, you get stuck inside this gap. It's going to be very easy for Bitcoin to continue down. Fast move up, fast move up here, we look for the fast move down, we got it. If we start breaking these levels, another fast move up would be another fast move down. So just be aware. We were able to see this on the chart before it happened, and again, I do have the knife catch long. We'll see what happens. Assuming it didn't get stopped out yet, I'll have to check that. I'm not logged in right now. I could check my phone, but yeah, we'll see what happens. If we, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but those are the next key levels down below. We lose this golden pocket. This is where I'm looking to go next. 80K. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to M7 says, woo, whales know this, right? They want to force it. Maybe they might want to. You have to understand, right? Like a lot of those FOMO long. I mean, Max Payne, right? Markets like Max Payne. Likely, a lot of the people in here were FOMO longing, leaving the liquidity down below, which is how we predicted this move. Same thing here. Fast moves up equal fast moves down. Fast move up, fast move down. Fast move up, fast move down. And it all lines up not only with our key levels, but the Fibonacci levels as well as the spikes in volume, right? So just keep that in mind. It's a simpler way to look at the chart. But there you go, guys. With all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate everybody for sticking around and hanging out till the end. I think we went late again. Tonight. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. I actually have to run out of here, so there's going to be no fake out, unfortunately. But smash that like button on your way out. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the live streams like last night where we were looking for this scenario and prepared to look for the next trades at the key level of support. Until next time, I'll see the premium in the Discord, and I'll see you guys tomorrow right here, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the love, guys. You're the best. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Fake out or the fake out here, guys. I was trying to check. Wait, hang on. What the heck just happened? Pull up OBS. Oh, there we go. You can see my screen. So there we go. Right. This is the short position. Right. Up about almost $7,000 here. Profits locked in. I'm going to lock a little bit more in here. I do want to keep some bit of this open. I'll probably maybe take half, something like that. But up almost 7,000 on the short, and then there is that long. Not stopped out. There we go. Up 1,000 for the day. Not too shabby. So we'll see. Like we said, I realized I didn't show any of the trades here, guys. But there you go. Long from the bottom, almost, with the stop loss super tight. Haven't moved this to break even just yet. But yeah, we're holding it. We're long from the bottom, and we are short from the top, even though this short is not even from the top. This short is actually only from... come on. This short is from here. And then the bigger short, do I have that open? Hang on one second. Bear with me. I did take more profits on the short from Femex. This is the short from 100 and No, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm all twisted up here. I'm all twisted up. I was losing my voice before. This is the short from, let me just find the entry. Where's my entry price? This is the short from 102K on Blowfin. Sorry. I have too many trades open. I have a bunch, but between all the accounts, guys, the trades get crazy. Can we just scroll here? Can we? There. Come on. There we go. So this is the short from 102K, up $7,000. This is the long from that low right here. And then this is the short from 97,777 over on Femex. This one I took a little more profit on. Got $3,000 locked in, $3,000 still unrealized. So we got $6,000 here. We got another $6,000 here, plus 600, plus 1,000. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Got to lock some more of it in, though. We don't want to hold this all the way to the bottom. But, guys, with all that being said, I forgot I didn't show the trades, but shout out to you guys. I also gave you a little bit more time to smash that like button, but that's all the time I got. Don't smash the like button, guys, because then I have to give away more money. Shout out to Michael for guessing I had Milano cookies on my desk. You're getting $300 in Solana. But with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. It's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and
don't smash it. Don't unlike the video. Unlike the video, guys. Please, for the love of God, unlike the video. Please. Bing bong.
It's time to act out. Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up. Yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up. Yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor.